There is quite literally unlimited opportunity in the world. It's really just about what you see and what you don't. One of my clients, he has a massive multi-billion dollar portfolio where he does real estate. I have a marketing company and he's one of my clients. And one time, he has a plane, so one time we were flying into, I believe it was Nashville or Denver. It was Denver for a conference. And when we were flying in, about to land, he saw a billboard getting built up. And then it really just sparked a bunch of excitement in this guy. His name's Ken, he's an older fella. And he said, dude, and he was telling me the full business model behind billboards and how they're so brilliant. And he said most people, when they're driving by a street, they would never even think of a billboard. But he sees this massive cash opportunity where the real benefit of billboards is right now he's buying them where he's getting 10% or around a 10% cash on cash return, which in this environment is really good. That means if you invest $1 million, you get a 10% return on that, which is $100,000 on a yearly basis. But the real benefit is the tax deductions that you get with it, where right now you can deduct 60% of the billboard year one. So if you invest that $1 million, $600,000 is deductible, and you get $100,000 per year in cash flow. That's really how the wealthy think. If you're making all this money, how do you invest it in something that pays you to own it, that reduces your taxes, which is what the government funds? The government tells you what they want you to invest in through the tax law. And this is something that's so important for young people that start to make a bit of money, because what you see is all these guys online spending every single dollar that they make, not understanding the tax law, and it is fucking them massively, where unfortunately most of my friends are 60 and super rich or mega wealthy, and so they understand taxes to a very high degree, and I get to learn a lot. In fact, I think a new potential client that we're taking on is one of the biggest tax firms in the country. And so anyway, the main point of that is no one, when they see billboards, sees the opportunity. It is such a rare thing. Most people are saying, dude, I never even thought about that as an investment, which is an opportunity, because Ken, he sees that, and he sees that all the opportunity for it. Where me, I have a marketing company where I see all the opportunities that other people miss in terms of how to grow their organic media for these large businesses. And I can see it so clearly. It's really just about what skill do you have and how can you implement that into whatever it is that you see going on. There's literally unlimited opportunity. Right now, we are making money in such unique ways through that I never even would have considered, but just being open to the possibilities adds a substantial revenue, which is amazing. But you can really apply this to anything, and it's super, super interesting. But unfortunately, I would say 3 years ago, when I had absolutely nothing, I was willing to take 100% risk. Like literally the way I first started this business is I got this guy's logo tattooed on my leg. I flew across the country before he even knew me and asked for a job with his logo, showed up on his doorstep. That's kind of how it went. But he didn't know who I was beforehand. And so that is unlimited risk. Now that I'm making substantial income, at least for myself, not compared to my clients, I'm a lot more risk averse, because I live an incredible, right now I'm in Cabo, that I'm here with my girlfriend, where we just booked very spontaneously after she came to Arizona, which is where I spent the warm weather months, and being able to come here and live an incredible lifestyle. Next week I'm going to Miami, and for the summer we might do Europe, maybe spend a month in Colombia, just travel around a bit. I am very comfortable with the lifestyle that I have right now, and I am substantially more risk adverse than I was 3 years ago when I had absolutely nothing to lose. Now I have a substantial amount to lose, because I want to keep living the life that I have and continue to improve it. So when I was a bit younger, I would take every single opportunity that came at me, like going to every single conference where a lot of people would see an expense. I said, I have no fucking opportunity, and you're not going to save your way to wealth. You just have to make more money. It's the only way. Your expenses are only ever going to go up. You got to figure out a way to make more money. And so I would go to every single conference I possibly could when in the space that I was in. And I would try and learn as much as possible, network with as many people, and every single time further opportunity would come out of it. One of the times, every single person said that I was the craziest person in the world. I went to my first ever conference, and I met this older, or he's about 40 years old, but after I was still in high school at the time, and I go back home, and that guy says, hey, I'm going to be in Vegas, why don't you come? And at this point, I was still in high school, we were just graduating, and I was not going to school, and everyone was asking me, what are you doing? And I said, I'm about to go on this trip with this guy that I met in Miami. And I said, how are you getting there? I said, this guy offered to pay because he has a bunch of airline points, and that we're going to potentially do some business together. And everyone said, Josh, you're getting raped by an older guy, you fucking bitch. Every single person said that. I saw an opportunity, and yeah, I trusted my gut. I knew this guy. Now me and Justin, we are still some of the best friends today. I see him a few times a year, or actually probably a few times a quarter. But a lot of people said, this is extreme risk. I said, no, this is an opportunity. And when I tell you pretty much all I did was I just said yes to every single thing that was a potential opportunity for a few years straight. And now I have so many opportunities, I'm now in the position to turn most things down, which is a substantially better position to be in, to turn down opportunities than to have none. But most people would never even see the opportunity when it comes, because if you're not working and you're not open-minded and you're always thinking of the bad stuff that's going to happen, you will never take a risk, because no one is just going to give you anything. It just is never ever going to happen. I used to think, before I really started searching for a mentor, it's going to be super easy. I'm going to find a mentor and I'm going to take over their business and my life is going to be super easy. Or, I'm going to get lucky in the stock market, even though that's not the way that you think about it. It's, I'm going to do this and I'm going to get my dream outcome. And that's just not going to happen. It's never going to happen. And I'm glad that didn't happen. You really become the person that you want to be by going over substantial hardships and doing things that are, let's say, quote unquote risky, or however you want to see it. But now that I'm really in a great position, there is unlimited opportunity. It just comes down to what has the highest leverage on my time. That just means if I put in a certain amount of input, I get the highest possible amount of output humanly possible. And for my clients, their tiny bit of input makes them tens of millions of dollars, where mine does not. Yeah, but it's just, as you continue to progress, the higher the asset symmetry gets. At least that's what I've seen. All I've seen is that business is getting more and more fun. I have been a little bit more risk averse because I don't want to fucking lose what I have, which is why I really want to build a safety net of investing into assets like those billboards, like some rental properties that have tax deductions and that are going to pay me to own it, where if the business goes to shit, you still have that. Therefore, I can continue to take risks because I'm naturally someone who wants to put my foot on the gas and go a million miles an hour. But I see a lot of potential risks down the line. And so I don't want to spend all the money I'm making doing stupid things, which is what I've done for the past 4 years up until this point. I was literally spending every single dollar that I was making trying to have better opportunities. And that worked out spectacularly for me. I had zero savings on my entire life until now. And I still don't really have much.